If you're watching this, you're already dangerous, because the moment you open your eyes to the truth, they lose control. They don't want you to see this video. They don't want you to wake the hell up, but you did. And now, there's no going back. This video isn't just information. It's a warning shot to the system that's been choking your potential since birth. The reason they don't want you here is simple. They fear people who think, act, and execute without permission. Today, we rip the blindfold off. If you've got the guts to listen, this might be the wake-up call that changes everything. You were conditioned to be weak, and the worst part is, you didn't even see it happening. From the moment you could walk, they started programming you. Sit down, shut up, follow the rules. Don't speak unless spoken to. Be polite, be average, be like everyone else. You think that was discipline? No. That was indoctrination. They weren't raising leaders, they were building followers. Because the system doesn't work if too many people start thinking for themselves. It collapses if people wake up and realize they're capable of building their own empires, living by their own rules, creating their own reality. You were taught to chase permission, not purpose. You were told to color inside the lines, apply for safe jobs, go into debt for a degree that teaches you nothing about real-world power. They don't teach you how to lead, how to invest, how to influence, or how to multiply your time and energy. They teach you how to comply, how to wait for instructions, how to be a good little cog in their machine. The world doesn't reward that. It uses you, drains you, and replaces you, but you accepted it because that's what everyone else was doing. And you wanted to fit in. You wanted to be liked. You wanted to be normal. But let me tell you something. Normal is broke, tired, afraid, and full of regret. You were born with power, with fire, with drive, but they buried it under layers of self-doubt and fear. They told you to stay humble, to not stand out, to not believe in yourself too much. They called ambition arrogance. They labeled confidence as ego. Why? Because if you knew what you were really capable of, you wouldn't ask for anything. You take what's yours. That's dangerous to them. That's why they condition you to fear failure, fear rejection, fear discomfort. Because the second you stop fearing those things, you become unstoppable. Lions don't ask sheep for direction. They hunt, they lead, they dominate. And you, deep down, you've always known you were a lion. But life beat it out of you. People who gave up on their own dreams convinced you to shrink yours. The truth is, you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, to rise, to inspire, to conquer. But that takes guts. That takes unlearning everything you've been taught. That takes burning the script and writing your own. The weakness isn't your default setting. It was downloaded into you by design. But guess what? You can uninstall it. Right now, you can choose strength, you can choose power, you can choose to stop complying and start conquering. The moment you stop living like a puppet and start moving like a predator, the world changes, not gradually, immediately. Because the world doesn't change for the weak. It bends for the relentless. So stop asking, stop waiting, stop doubting. Rip that weakness out of your mindset and replace it with obsession, discipline, and execution. You weren't born to follow. You were born to dominate. Comfort is the real enemy, not failure, not rejection, not even fear. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams, the quiet thief of greatness. They sold it to you like it was the prize. The warm couch, the 9-to-5 safety net, the weekends off, the cheap dopamine of scrolling, snacking, and sleeping in. And you bought it. You believed the lie that a calm life meant a successful one. But let me tell you something the world won't. Comfort builds nothing. It softens your edge, dulls your ambition, and numbs your potential. You weren't born to coast. You were born to conquer. Every minute you spend in comfort is a minute stolen from your future. While you binge the next episode, someone else is building the next empire. While you hit snooze, someone else is already grinding through the morning, sharpening their skills, expanding their reach, dominating their space. You think success is luck? No. Success is ruthless. Success is war. And comfort is surrender. You don't get to live a legendary life by being relaxed. You don't get to create generational wealth with soft habits. The giants of every industry, the ones you admire, envy, or resent, they weren't lounging in comfort when they built their legacy. They were in the trenches, tired, focused, obsessed. And that's exactly what it takes. The battlefield doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're burned out. Life isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It rewards those who show up and execute anyway. The world is moved by those who act when it's hard, not when it's convenient. Here's the raw truth. Comfort will lie to you. It whispers, you've done enough. It says, take a break, you deserve it. But it never tells you what that break is costing you. It doesn't tell you about the years you'll lose, the momentum you'll kill, the fire that will fade. You don't become elite by resting when it's easy. You become elite by performing when it's brutal. When you push through the pain, when you sacrifice pleasure, when you move forward without applause, that's when you're dangerous. That's when you separate yourself from the 99% who settle. Every empire was built on the bones of comfort. Every record shattered, every boundary broken, every revolution sparked. None of it came from the comfort zone. It came from the edge. It came from relentless action, from doing the hard thing when it was hard. You want a new life? You want freedom, dominance, power? Then kill comfort, bury it, burn it, and start living like a warrior who knows the clock is ticking and nothing is promised. This world doesn't owe you peace. It rewards pain turned into purpose. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Get up and execute. Because the man who gets comfortable being uncomfortable, that's the man who wins. School never taught you power. They fed you dates from history books, formulas from math classes, and rules about obedience, but never once did they hand you the keys to real power. They trained you to memorize, not to master, to conform, not to conquer. You were taught how to raise your hand and wait for permission, how to sit down, shut up, and stay in line. That's not education. That's indoctrination. They built a system that manufactures followers, not leaders. And guess what? It's working perfectly for them. Think about it. Did anyone teach you how to build wealth? How to manage money? How to take calculated risks? Build a team or negotiate like your life depended on it? Hell no. They'd rather you stay clueless, because power in the hands of the masses is dangerous to the elite. If you learned how to invest, how to build, how to think, you wouldn't need their student loans, their jobs, or their approval. You'd be free. And they can't monetize a free man. They don't teach mindset either, not the kind that creates empire builders. No one ever looked you in the eye and said, you're capable of becoming a monster in the best way possible. Instead, they told you to be realistic, to play it safe, to aim low, apply for a secure job, and pray someone picks you. Let me tell you something. Powerful people don't wait to be picked. They take the damn ball and run with it. You were never supposed to be on the sidelines clapping for someone else's dream. But school never showed you how to dream on your own terms. You want to know what real education looks like? It's getting knocked down, getting back up, learning to lead when everyone else follows. It's making bold moves when others are playing defense. It's having the discipline to do what's hard and the balls to do what's unpopular. That's power. But you had to find that on your own, if you ever found it at all. And that's by design. If they handed out power, the entire structure would collapse. Because powerful people don't clock in and out. They don't beg for raises. They build businesses, create jobs, shift markets. They set the tone, write the rules, and redefine what's possible. You were never meant to do that. That's why they filled your head with nonsense, kept you busy with busy work, and never once taught you how to dominate. But now you know. And when you know the system is rigged, you stop playing by its rules. You stop apologizing for your ambition. You stop asking for permission. You start leading. And once you taste power, the real kind, you'll never settle for scraps again. You'll never look at school or society or the 9 to 5 the same way. You'll realize you were meant to rise, not to fit in. Because the game was never about grades, it was about greatness. And greatness, that's earned, not taught. Success isn't given, it's taken. Let that sink in. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of. You've been fed this fairy tale that if you just keep your head down, stay patient, and be a good little soldier, someone will notice and reward you. That's a lie. That's the story sold to the masses, so they stay tame, predictable, and under control. The truth is brutal, but liberating. If you want something in this life, you have to rip it from the jaws of mediocrity. You have to grab it with both hands, bleed for it, fight for it, sacrifice for it. You want respect? Earn it. You want wealth? Build it. You want freedom? Take it. People love to talk about how hard they're trying. Trying doesn't matter. Effort without results is just wasted motion. You don't get paid for attempts, you get paid for outcomes. The marketplace doesn't care how many hours you worked, it cares what you produced. This world only responds to power. Real, tangible, results-driven power. If you can't produce, you're irrelevant, period. The reason people stay broke, stuck, and miserable is because they confuse motion for progress. They think posting quotes on Instagram, watching motivational videos, or talking about their plans is the same as doing the damn work. It's not. Execution eats excuses for breakfast. It doesn't ask how you feel. It doesn't care about your background. And it sure as hell doesn't wait for you to be ready. Winners don't whine, they win. They show up even when they're tired, broken, or doubting themselves. They shut the hell up and execute. They don't beg for opportunities, they create them. They don't ask for permission. They take what they know they deserve because they've earned it through relentless, violent consistency. They don't need validation because results speak louder than applause. If you're still waiting for someone to believe in you, stop. Believe in yourself enough to act. Believe in yourself enough to fail, to look stupid, to be laughed at, then keep going anyway. The world is full of people with dreams, with potential, with talent, and they die with it. Because they never did what was necessary. They were waiting for the right time, the right mood, the right opportunity. Let me be clear, the right time is now. The opportunity is what you create. And the mood, it's irrelevant. You don't build empires on feelings. You build them on execution, discipline, and an unshakable will to dominate. Stop whining. Stop wishing. Get up, lock in, and take what's yours, because no one's going to give it to you. And if you don't have the guts to go after it, someone else will. And they'll leave you behind wondering what happened. Success is earned. One brutal, relentless, obsessed day at a time. They fear your potential. Not because it's a maybe, but because it's a guarantee the moment you stop playing small. If you ever woke up one morning, looked in the mirror and said, no more excuses, the world as you know it would change immediately. Because power isn't given, power is claimed. And when you claim yours, the system loses its grip. That's why they keep you sedated with distractions, endless scrolling, fake dopamine hits, toxic entertainment, and engineered conflict. They don't want you focused, they want you fractured. Angry at things that don't matter, obsessed with people who contribute nothing to your future. The louder the noise, the easier it is to keep you blind to what you're truly capable of. You think it's an accident and you were never taught how to build wealth, how to lead, how to negotiate, how to take control of your mental, emotional, and physical power? It's not. They taught you to comply, to follow instructions, to seek permission, to fear rejection, to wait. Wait for the opportunity. Wait for approval. Wait for life to happen. Bullshit. Waiting is how you stay weak. Acting is how you get free. Here's the brutal truth. If you ever tapped into just 10% of what's inside you, the vision, the anger, the passion, the hunger, you'd obliterate every excuse, every limitation, and every barrier in your path. That's why they keep you busy chasing comfort instead of chasing greatness. Because the moment you get focused, really focused, on becoming the weapon you were born to be, you become ungovernable, untouchable, and that terrifies them. You don't need permission to be powerful. You don't need validation to be valuable. You don't need applause to make an impact. You need one thing: execution. Because until you start moving like your life depends on it, your potential is just untapped power rotting inside a cage you built with your own excuses. You are the asset, you are the weapon, you are the storm they hope never comes. And the moment you stop asking for direction and start demanding results from yourself, you become unstoppable. But here's the part no one wants to hear. You are responsible. Not your parents, not the economy, not your boss, not your trauma. You've had the power the entire time. You just haven't activated it. You've settled for scraps when you were meant to feast. So wake up, sharpen the blade, burn the excuses, and go take what's yours. Not tomorrow, now. Because they fear what happens if you finally stop living at 10% and unleash the other 90. They fear the version of you that doesn't beg, doesn't bow, doesn't break. They fear the you that decides and executes. Make them right to be afraid. They didn't want you to find this video, but now you have a choice. Scroll away like the sheep, or stand up, show up, and tear through life like a goddamn warrior. No more waiting, no more whining. It's time to execute. It's time to become who you were meant to be. Legacy or liability, there is no in between. Every single day, with every action or inaction, you are either carving your name into the stone of significance or fading into the background of mediocrity. And don't kid yourself, this isn't about fame, followers, or likes. It's about impact. It's about what echoes after you're gone. You can lie to the world, but you can't lie to the man in the mirror. You know damn well whether you're giving life everything you've got or just enough to survive. You get one shot. One. You die once. That's it. But the sting of regret, that's the ghost that haunts people to their graves. It whispers in your ear when you're alone, asking why you didn't start sooner, why you didn't push harder, why you settled when you knew deep down you were meant for more. Regret doesn't come from failure. It comes from cowardice. It comes from knowing you had the chance to become something more and choosing not to. So many people are walking around as liabilities, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually. They drain, they consume, they wait for life to hand them a miracle instead of becoming the damn miracle. But you, if you've listened this far, you're not them. You're not built for average. You're not wired to be a cog in someone else's machine. You're here to build, to lead, to dominate. And that means taking responsibility for every breath you take. Every second wasted is the second you could have been building your empire, developing your mind, sharpen your body, leaving something behind that screams, I was here. Your name should shake the ground long after you're buried. You should live so boldly, so relentlessly, that your grandchildren will speak your name with pride, not confusion. But that only happens if you choose it. Legacy doesn't happen by accident. It's carved by discipline, sacrifice, relentless execution. That means showing up when it's hard. That means saying no to distractions. That means acting with purpose, not emotion. It's not supposed to be easy. That's why it's called a legacy. It's rare, it's earned, It's built one brutal decision at a time. The system doesn't care if you rot in mediocrity. Society won't cry when you die with potential still locked inside you. That's why the choice isn't theirs. It never was. It's yours. Right now, this minute, you decide whether you'll be a name that's remembered or a story that's never told. You decide if you'll break the chains of fear, doubt, and excuses, or pass them on to the next generation. So what's it gonna be? Will you become the one who changed the damn game, or just another ghost in the crowd? Legacy or liability? Choose. Don't just watch this, act on it. Like, share, execute.